everyone. My name is Aditya Sharma. I'm from CloudOps team, SRE squad. So let me explain you about a challenge that I faced while working on a project here at XenonStack. So there were many challenges, but two major part of the challenge was, for the context, let me explain you what was the project about. The project was based on a microservice architecture, where you know that an application is divided into various services. It is decoupled into services that are interdependent on each other. There is dependency, a lot of dependency between services. So the first part of the challenge was, it was difficult to understand how the traffic is flowing in between these services. Meaning what? Meaning it was difficult to understand how one service is communicating to other service, how we can understand where is the delay between the communication and how to overcome that. The second part of the challenge was security and authentication authorization. Meaning what? We would have to understand how can we implement something that can allow us to implement some policies on the cluster, policies on the application that this service can communicate to this service and this service cannot communicate to this service explicitly, which assures that security is implemented on your environment. How we overcome this challenge? We overcome all these challenges using a service mesh. Now let me explain you what is a service mesh. A service mesh is basically an infrastructure layer that works alongside the application layer. It enables users to create, manage, and understand your microservices. Now let's talk about ISTIO. ISTIO is an open source service mesh. There are plenty of service mesh available in the market right now, such as Open Service Mesh from Microsoft, Linkerd, and ISTIO, where ISTIO is one of the most used service mesh. So the challenge that I told you, how ISTIO helped in that? ISTIO helped us in overcoming those challenges using a lot of different ways. A lot of different features that are providing authentication, authorization, policy management, policy enablement, then observability related features, telemetry related features. These are the extra features, but the challenge was just overcome using some of the CRDs which ISTIO uses. For the context, ISTIO uses a lot of CRDs which provide the abilities to do these things in such a manner that you don't have to change anything in the code of the application. Only these CRDs manage the things. So first challenge was to understand how the things are working, how services are communicating with each other, and how can we overcome the delay, how can we understand the delay. So ISTIO has these features which provide you the ability to manage traffic, to understand traffic. So these features are called traffic management, traffic shifting, traffic observability, and many others. So CRDs like virtual service and destination rules were some of the CRDs which were implemented, which were applied, which enabled us to have that hand over our network. How did we do that? We did that by allowing the traffic to flow from one service to other. We allowed the weight. We decided the weight of how much traffic should be going to one service and how much should go to the other service. How can we understand that this traffic should go to this version of the application and this other version of the application? Obviously, there could be different versions of one application, right? Version 1 and version 2. ISTIO helped us in that, how we performing such as blue and green deployments. ISTIO can allow you to decide the weightage of the traffic that is going to version 1 and version 2. Similarly, there was a second challenge, which was security. How did we overcome these security-based challenges? So first thing that is by default enabled in Istio, that is mutual TLS. Mutual TLS means the communication between two services is secure by default. So when you are using Istio will by default enable these features, and one of the feature is mutual TLS. That this communication between two services, be it any microservices, it will be by default explicitly based on mutual TLS. You can obviously deny that, but that really depends on your use case. Now let me explain you some features of Istio. Some of the features which are like an umbrella are authorization, authentication, traffic management, and observation. Now under these umbrellas, there are multiple features such as, let's start with authorization first. So as you see, there is HTTP traffic, TCP traffic, JWT token, external authorization, and policies. What are these? Istio enables users to implement authorization on basis of these. How come? Istio enables you to authorize based on HTTP traffic and TCP traffic. Parameters such as headers, path, which are related to HTTP traffic, and things like IP addresses for destination, source, what are the ports. These are some of the things which can be used to authorize. Then we can always use external authorization tools that can be integrated with Istio very easily. JWT token can be used based, and policies can be implemented such as who is the user, what is the service, what is the destination, if we are allowing it, denying it explicitly, etc. Then comes the authentication part. Istio has, as I told you already, Istio has strict MTLS policy. Meaning what? By default, it enables the mutual TLS based communication between every service. You can obviously deny that and change that. There are different modes that can be used on a cluster. Plus, you can use policies, implement different kind of policies. Obviously, there are different CRDs for that in Istio to implement these. Then one of the major feature of Istio is traffic management, under which comes the traffic shifting, request timeout, rate limiting, fault injection, request routing. Meaning what? Request routing, as I told you before, virtual service and the destination rule CRD that implements two major things of how the traffic should go from one to other service, what should be the communication between two services, etc. Traffic shifting between two versions of same application, achieving blue-green deployments, using other deployment strategies, etc. Request timeout, rate limiting, fault injection are a type of testing that can be done, type of chaos testing that can be done on a cluster to check the resilience out of your application. Injecting fault, that's very self-explanatory. Request timeout, how much of a time there should be after which service cannot be delivered, a request cannot be delivered. Obviously, and that rate limiting is one of those features that can help a lot of people where their application demands are very growing and they want to limit. So that is where the rate limiting comes in. Lastly is observability. So under observability there is distributed tracing, that is obviously performing observability, gathering matrices from different clusters, from different applications, across regions, across environments, across type of infrastructure that is beneath the application. Visualization. Now Istio, the latest Istio versions come with Jaeger also, which provides a beautiful virtualization of all the matrices and all the traffic that is going on in the cluster. After that, as I told you, we can gather matrices. We can obviously integrate tools like Prometheus and Grafana. Istio allows you to easily integrate these tools and already collect matrices. Now you can get integrations with Prometheus and Grafana also. Envoy logs are one of those logs that can be used to understand how the requests are coming in, what are requesting. There is a feature for audit also that you can use to audit all the requests that came in, all the requests that were denied and were approved. So these were some of the main features of ISTIO. Now let's talk about some of the use cases of ISTIO. So one of the major ISTIO use cases is implementing deployment strategies. Deployment strategies provide a vast ground for the application to be deployed. We can leverage deployment strategies in different fashions to provide different outcomes to our clients and organizations. So as you know, deployment strategies mostly revolve around traffic shifting, and ISTIO has the major hold on traffic shifting part of the world. As in, we can decide the weight of the application, what traffic should go to which part of the version 1 or version 2, like going 50-50 or going 90-10, going 80-20. Use cases such as performing deployment strategies as like doing canary deployments, blue-green deployments, doing A/B testing are few things. Secondly, performing chaos testing. Chaos testing revolves around testing the resilience of your application, that it can withstand some bad times. So ISTIO allows you to perform such as fault injection, rate limiting, and fault injection, other things which can be used, other features which can be used to perform chaos testing. Ultimately, we were able to implement these features in our organization and on the project as well. The main thing where the value was added was that we were able to reduce the code from the application side and implement things that could not be done without adding the code. So there we got a success. Plus, secondly, we were able to increase the uptime of the application, which is a major thing, as it increases the revenue also, it increases the incoming traffic, the user base, because obviously you get the better results and the end user is happy, which increases a lot of things, increases a lot of value. Third, we were able to implement chaos testing. This chaos testing is new in the market and gives you a lot of strength and confidence on your own application, as you can test your application in different difficult environments that were not possible before, and ISTIO helps you to do that. According to me, all this was possible was because of the experimental stack that XenonStack provided me the opportunity to work on. I was able to explore not just ISTIO but a lot other tools also. We were able to implement those tools on the client projects and internally, which gave us a lot of good feedback, increased our value, the customer's value, client's value, and everything which happened was because of experimental sampling. So I thank you for XenonStack for that, and thank you.